I'd love to start out with the fact that was it easier to learn the dancing with Sarah helping, or was it the fighting? Which one was more difficult to kind of tackle when you first got on there?
To me, I looked at the dancing and the fighting in the same realm. It was all about the physicality of Anna as a character. So Sarah, our choreographer, and Emma Claire Britlin worked very closely with each other. Emma Claire Britlin was our fight coordinator. I'd say the dancing was comfortable for me because Sarah made it so comfortable. It was so much about it being extensions of my body and what felt right for the character. So like there were some mornings where we'd come onto set and she'd be like, try this. She'd watch me do it. She'd be like, that was awful. Do something else. And like there was a moment where in shooting where I really wanted to put my high kick in. I'm super clumsy, but I can do this awesome high kick. And we got to the last day of shooting. She's like, I feel like this is a moment where you can do whatever you want to do. I was like, I'm going to do my high kick, right? So the dancing was fun. The fighting was very specific. With the zombie hits, like you have to be so on point. Otherwise, you've either hit someone in the face or you've made it look like you're not hitting anyone. So that was a strange art form to have to learn, and to start believing in myself as a badass took longer than expected.
Well, it definitely comes across on the film, so you look great as a badass, so don't worry about that.
Thank you.
I'm kind of curious. I was surprised. This is a very strong female group. Fight coordinator was a woman. Your DP was a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Did that help?
Head of post-production, producer.
Yeah. Was that something that was comforting on the set and different?
Yes. I have been asked a lot over the course of this press tour, like how I built Anna as this badass. And it was so much to do with that I had all these incredible women around me. The set was basically a 50-50 working ratio men to women. And just to be able to look around me and see all these women creatively stimulated and enjoying their jobs and being as respected as the men. There was no hierarchy. It was such a respectful, collaborative work environment, and I felt very safe. And it was just a really lovely family. But yeah, it can't be underestimated how much it impacted me having all those women around me.
What was the shoot like? You guys shot in Falkirk and Glasgow and
Yes.
Yeah.
The shoot was freezing cold. Very intense. We shot over 5 weeks, which to make a film this ambitious is a very short time frame. And there were days where we were really pushing to get everything done. But it was a really awesome group of people making it. So I feel like at the end of the day, regardless of how tough it had been, it was always fun.
Was it fun to carry the film the whole way? I mean, from Robot or Cold Feet, this is a big jump into, you're carrying the film, you're in every shot.
Yeah, it was definitely a jump, and it was a learning curve in terms of stamina, like how you thinking about the marathon you're running. In a sense, I think of different shoots as like races in some ways, and pacing yourself. And Anna was a marathon for me. And just trying to keep a steady pace throughout and saving my energy and looking forward and going, okay, that's coming up. I need to make sure that I'm prepared for that. But I was really scared coming onto the shoot that I wasn't prepared enough, because I just finished shooting a film called The More You Ignore Me, which was my first film in a lead role, and that was a whole different kind of beast, because it was set in the 80s. It was about this young carer struggling to connect with her mentally ill mother, so a real emotional challenge. And then I came on to Anna. Anna was such an outright lead and a physical challenge, and I'd underestimated the physical challenge of it. And as I was already exhausted, I was like, oh God, I'm not going to be able to do this. And I really learned on Anna how to trust in the filmmakers around me. So I totally credit what I did in the film to John McPhail and the cast that helped me.
As far as knowing the history of like Ryan creating it, I mean, I don't think you or John knew Ryan at all.
No, I very sadly didn't get to meet Ryan.
Was there any looking back at the short as far as preparation, or did you just jump into the script?
I watched the short because after Nason and Nick told me the story of the film's origins and told me about Ryan, I felt compelled to. And I love the short. I think it's so wacky and the idea is just so wonderful. So I wanted to watch it, but the only thing that I drew from the short really was just to have conviction in the boldness of the idea. I didn't use it as a method of preparation. Really, my main preparation was bonding with Malcolm and Sarah and Chris and Marley and Ben, and that was the best preparation we could have done because I feel like that translates on screen. And also the physical preparation. I was like throwing punches at myself in the mirror to start believing in myself as a badass MC, and Sarah had sent me home to start kind of trying to get this badass thing into my brain because I just kept laughing at myself. But yeah, throughout the course of the shoot, I became very bonded with my candy cane, and I did get really into being that side of myself. That shoot really taught me how to be sassy.
So you guys premiered this at Fantastic Fest down in Austin. Mm-hmm. I think Texans, we have a love of Scottish, Irish, English films. How have you felt about coming into Texas and your time here in Texas?
Texas has been an incredibly welcoming place both times I've been here. Specifically with Fantastic Fest, I think that was one of the best weekends of my life. Like, such a joy to have the film's world premiere in Austin, and the audience was so beyond kind with us that we felt nurtured and accepted, and to be accepted as a creative is always a cool feeling. So yeah, I've loved both times I've come to Texas.
You just relocated to New York, is that right?
I did. I have.
How has that been? This is just like months old, right?
Months old. I moved out in September to shoot a TV show for Apple. So the show is amazing and the cast are all wonderful, and New York is total sensory overload for me, and I'm obsessed with bagels.
We love that. That makes sense. We're two Jewish cats, so bagels make sense.
Okay.
So I know you can't talk too much about that project, but Alina Smith being the creator of it and being such an incredible voice.
I love Elena.
What's it like being able to collaborate with a voice like that?
I underestimated the importance of the showrunner and writer on a TV show because I'd worked predominantly in film before, and the TV show that I'd done, I was playing a series regular, but a supporting role really. So I hadn't really got to know Mike Bullen, who wrote Cold Feet. But Elena, I've really bonded with, and she just inspires me beyond belief, and I'm so excited with the material that she's making, and I feel honored to be working with her.
So I gotta ask a question about where you're from. Devon, which is like,
yes,
that's I know it's
in the southwest of England.
It's a port town too, and
well, Devon is a county. It's actually quite a lot. It's the largest county in England. So there are many bits of Devon. There are port towns. It's quite like Cornwall in that it's got a mixture of moorland and seascape and towns. I grew up in a rural farming community about 15 minutes from the beach, so I grew up surfing and farming and riding horses and that sort of thing.
Yeah, the only thing I could link it to is I play FIFA, and I always pick like a small team in Plymouth Argyle. It's just right around the corner. And
yes.
I was doing some research. I was like, who's come from this area? Roger Deakins, Muse, Chris Martin from Coldplay.
Yeah, Ben Howard.
Yeah.
Josh Stone.
Matthew Good, the actor. It's a
Devon is
place.
a special community. It's a really cool place to come from. I'm very proud of my Devon roots. But since I've been in America, people just go, "Oh, you're from England? London?" I'm like, no, I'm not from London, but where I'm from is awesome too.
Is there, now that you're going to be kind of in the TV world, did that change the way you work, or was it kind of seamless?
It's kind of seamless. I'd say that television is really changing and has really changed, especially with the streaming platforms that are so massive now. You're basically making 10-hour-long films or however many episodes. To me, it doesn't feel much different. Sometimes it's a bit faster in the way they shoot, but no, it's just a really exciting breeding ground for larger character arcs. Just like getting to explore a character further, which as an actor is really fun.
As far as, because I know you model as well, are you going to keep doing that, or is acting what you want to get into?
So a lot of people think I model. I literally just, when I'm promoting a movie, I will do shoots for magazines as like press for the movie. So that, but I've never actually modeled. I don't model.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, all over Vogue. I was like, wow, okay.
Vogue talking about Anna and the Apocalypse.
Very cool.
Thank you.
I've got to ask, is there potential for, have you talked to John about this, or even Sarah, prequel, sequel, anything like that with the film?
Malcolm Cumming has a saying, and if you've watched the film, you'll know what he means: no sequels. But we all loved making this movie together. So I think even if we don't make a prequel or a sequel, which I'm not saying is off the cards, maybe we will, maybe we won't, I don't know at this point. I think we will make more films together because we loved making this film together.
Is there, as far as your preparation for this, was there a film or an actress you looked towards, or did you kind of want to create something new?
I was excited about creating something new. I looked at Sigourney Weaver because I just think she's awesome, and she was referenced in the script at one of the points. When I'm preparing for my big final fight, they mentioned Sigourney Weaver in Alien when she's putting on her armor ready to go into her fight. Yeah. So we tried to find a likeness in there. And I also looked at Lily James in Pride and Prejudice and Zombies because I thought her physicality in that was so good. And I just loved that movie, and it's another kind of genre mashup movie that I really enjoyed. So that was one I watched as well.
As far as, because I know you sing in it, but I'm curious, music-wise, was it a musical set in the sense that you guys were singing all the time, or was it that just happened when you guys were doing those scenes?
We're all we all come from musical backgrounds. Sarah Swire has a thing called EP Club, which she does once a month, a couple of times a year, where she gets all of her musician friends to come together and they make an EP in a month. So she's super musical. Malcolm comes from a pantomime background where, he plays so many instruments. I have sung and songwritten for the majority of my life. I play the piano, and music is a massive kind of outlet for me, and it's how I process my thoughts. So I'd say it was a very musical set, but less kind of, there's a Santa stocking that just fell.
The zombies are here. Yeah.
Zombies, ghost zombies. But yeah, we're a musical group.
And lastly, I'd love to know, now that you're in New York, is theater something you would love to get into or dive into?
Yes, definitely, yes.
Is there a role that you would love to tackle?
Oh, I just watched Carey Mulligan do Girls and Boys.
Yeah.
And God, she was so amazing in that. I'd be so excited to take on that material. But that's just something I've seen recently. I've gone, I want to read that manuscript, or I want to play with that.